Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 64. It's a pleasure to have Korey Besse on today's show. Korey Besse is a former college at Erskine College. Now he's into digital marketing. He's an entrepreneur. He's starting his own business. He's helping people on a daily basis, trying to connect with people, helping them grow their own businesses. He's a sports savant, huge Celtics fan, big football guy himself, knows a lot about the game of football. It's a pleasure to have you on today's show, man.
Joey, I love the introduction, man. You definitely done your little background research. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been telling you for the longest how much I love what you're doing. And it's great, man. And it's so good to see the progress that you've been doing and how far the show has come along. And it's just a pleasure to be on here with you, buddy.
Absolutely, man. I know we talked about it a few months ago back in Florida when I was there and we were just kind of chalking it up. And you were saying, hey man, I really want to come on. And I think this week is the perfect week, especially now with what you're doing with your career and how you're growing your business in digital marketing. And now you are, officially retired from football. So you can kind of really give your perspective on the game and, we can really dive in to today's show. But there is one thing that I did want to say, and I want to give myself, the praise and the shout out from all the hard work. Like you were just saying, 1,000 plays. Actually last week we hit 1,000 plays all time for the podcast. So I'm really excited about that. It's something
I love
special
it.
for me. It's really something special. It's something that I worked really hard towards. I remember when I was looking at it, I was like 500 plays. I was like, okay. Then I looked at 800 and I was like, oh my goodness, we're only 200 plays away. And we
Exactly, man.
yeah, man.
And when
So
you
we
work so
officially
hard
hit
for
it.
something and you start
Yeah.
reaching those milestones, because at the time when you first started hitting 500, I'm sure you were like, dude, 500, like that's sick. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you kind of were, it kind of gave you that assurance to keep going. And like you said, you're at 1,000 now, and it's next thing you know, you're gonna hit 2,000, 5,000, 10,000.
And
So
actually our last interview we did, we hit 1.2 thousand views for our full interview on YouTube with the Jackson State kicker Luke Jackson. So that was really special and really cool. A lot of engagement there. So that was awesome. So, but yeah, let's get into today's show. Thanks again for everybody for always supporting me along my journey, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 64. It's Korey Besse's time. So let's get into it. So you are a former college at Erskine College. Just talk about your experience and how your college career went, because I know you had a lot of ups and downs. You had a lot of injuries. Talk about your college career and sum it up in a nutshell.
yes, sir. My college career, I would say, it was everything I could want it to be, and it was a process. It was definitely a journey, as you said. But through sports, I think you realize a lot about yourself, and it teaches you a lot of discipline and a lot of real skills that you can take out into the real world. So, for example, my senior year, I broke my leg. First game of senior year, felt like it was something out of a movie. Friday Night Lights was like my favorite show growing up. And
Yeah.
if anybody watched it, first game of his senior year, he ends up getting paralyzed. So, it wasn't that extreme. God, thank God. But it was very hard. It was I think that was my first battle of depression. Really going through like mental, because you're a 17, 18-year-old kid at that time. You're in high school, you're still young, you think you know everything, right? So that was really my first reality check. Like, you got to toughen up, you got to be mental. And I had one or two choices. Do I want to hang them up then, or do I want to keep playing this game that I love, that I've given so much for? So thankfully got my leg healed. I went and played prep football, junior college football up in South Carolina at Palmetto Prep. And that was a journey too, because, from, some people who've played JUCO athletics, this isn't top of the line stuff you see on Saturdays. You're watching, these big programs, Division I programs, with all the best, equipment, facilities. It's a dogfight every day. And, your living conditions sometimes aren't the best. We were taking vans to games. We weren't taking big, buses like, some of these people are flying game to game. So, it's a hustle when you're at that level, and it tests your will. And, you're either going to put up with it, you're going to keep going, you're going to choose to keep striving forward, or you're not. And some people leave at that level, and there's nothing wrong with that, because like I said, I feel like sports teach us a lot about ourselves, and it helps build you those skills for being a good father, for being a good husband, for taking care of a family, for everyday stuff. holding, yourself accountable. So that was prep. That was JUCO. Played there. And then from there, I got a scholarship to go up to Wagner College up in Staten Island, New York. So I lived in New York for a little bit. That was great. I met some great people. And that's one thing that I'm thankful for football too, is you meet some wonderful people. I've had some coaches that played in the NFL. Some of my teammates from that time were playing in the NFL right now. And, they're just great people, and you form a lot of great relationships. So you get to know these guys on a personal level, and you're going through the grind. You're going through the everyday grind of playing football. And then from Wagner, I went down and spent some time at FAU and Boca Raton. And this was around when COVID hit. So my goal was I wanted to walk on to Florida Atlantic. They were recruiting me my senior year of high school. Sadly, I broke my leg. So, some of my recruitment fell down the window. So I wanted, I could bet on myself. Lane Kiffin was there at the time. So when I transferred from Wagner to FAU, this is when COVID happened. Kiffin went to Ole Miss. And then next thing you know, this whole COVID shut down, everything shut down. They're not taking walk-ons because they don't want to take anybody outside from the team. They want to keep everybody, safe. So that's when I had a coach call one of the coaches from Erskine College up in South Carolina. They were recruiting me out of my JUCO at one point. I formed a relationship. I took a visit to the school. And then they ended up giving me a scholarship and welcoming me with open arms. And that was a great experience in itself too, because, going back to what I said, you meet a lot of great people on the way, man. Like people that you're going to know for a lifetime, that you can hope that your kids are going to be able to meet one day. And, that goes for coaches, that goes for teammates. And, it's football is a lot to do with who I am, because like I said, I formed, meeting these people, and it forms skills. You hold yourself accountable. You're showing up every day, and you're playing for the guy next to you. You're not focused on yourself. You're developing real world skills. It's a team. It takes 11 guys to keep the engine going. So that's what football has always been for me. It was a passion, but it grew into so much more. And I had dreams of going in the NFL. That was my dream since I was 10 years old. But one thing that I've learned is life doesn't always go the way we want it to, but it goes the way that it's supposed to, if that makes sense. And I'm thankful for football. I'm going to be around football for my whole life. Do I want my kids to play football? Absolutely. But I want my kids to play sports because, like I said, I know the value of sports. I know what it can bring to an individual. And I've had some of my most fun playing sports, man.
Yeah, most definitely. No, I really appreciate you sharing your, college career, with people listening. And it's really nice to hear, the other side of the coin, not just, an athlete right now, but the other side of it, meaning like the ending of it, like how it all started to where it to, to the end, the finish line. And to me, it sounds like it was very positive. You learned a lot of things, you learned from, a lot of experience from, college to college. But one thing I did want to ask you was what really caught my mind there. Let's just say hypothetically, you didn't break your leg in high school, your senior year of high school. Do you think things would have been different, meaning like a bigger college on a bigger scale, or do you think it was just I wasn't necessarily good enough? I was good, but I wasn't exactly where I needed to be, just the other talent in Division I. Do you think anything would have been different?
Yeah, Joey, around those times, a couple of years ago, I used to think that a lot. I used to sit down and I would drive myself crazy thinking about that. Because we can sit there and we can do what if game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's nothing rewarding in that for me, because I would just send myself for a loop. So it was more of, in another lifetime, if that didn't happen, who knows what could have happened, I sit there, I tell my friends, in another lifetime, Korey was in the NFL, but it's just not this lifetime. It's not meant to be. And I closed that chapter, man. Because like I said, I spent a lot of nights sitting there and just going in that loop, like, oh, what if this isn't happening? But even, when I was in college, I experienced injuries. This past season, I tore my trap and I got a contusion in my clavicle. Halfway through the season, I missed, about a month and a half. And, it's part of the game. You can't be mad at the game because that's what we sign up for. We put our bodies on the line. And as you can see this past season, you put your life on the line too with Damar Hamlin. God bless him. I'm glad he's doing great. But that's the game of football. And any person who's played this game will sit there and tell you that this is what we sign up for. Injuries happen all the time, but it's that mental aspect that it teaches you, to
Yeah.
get through things, that I'm bigger than this, I can get over this. And for a long time, yeah, I did struggle with that. But like I said, man, I'm at peace with it. I had a great career. I met some of the best people in my life that, I'll have for a lifetime. And it's been a blessing. And I'm always going to have those experiences to share with people, if we're sitting down having a conversation like this, or, with my kids one day.
Do you see yourself getting into coaching someday?
Yeah, man, I love it. I would love to, maybe not right now, because I got some things I want to take care of. I got some things I want to do. But I would definitely, because I feel like I got to give back. I've spent, 17, 18 years of my life playing this game, loving this game. And it's something I definitely want to give back. I was having a conversation with my brother the other night, and even if it starts with coaching, Pop Warner football, younger kids, and being that coach, that, because when I started playing Pop Warner football, I had some college guys come and give back, Antoine Dixon, when I was at North, he was a big star. Yeah, he's the man right there. His dad too, they were great. But he would come in coach at North Pop Warner Field. And I used to being a kid, like, you're looking out like, this is the man right here. Like, I want to be like him. So I know how important it is for, to have an influence on the youth. So I would love to get in coaching younger kids, and then up to high school one day. I don't think college though.
Yeah.
It's a grind, man.
The two names I remember, Antoine Dixon and Noel Devine. It's all everybody talks about. Actually, no, sorry, there's three names: Dion, Noel Devine, and Antoine Dixon. Those were the three names that everyone would talk about.
Yeah, man, ballers. But that's what's here in our city, That's what comes out of here, and it's great to see some of that.
Sammy Watkins,
what they're doing,
Sammy Watkins as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them.
Absolutely. So I love this city. I love what it's done for me. I've had some of the best coaches, some of the best mentors growing up. You could call them father figures, if you will. And I want to be like that for somebody too. I got to give that back.
Yeah. So transitioning away from the football side here, kind of just going away from it for a little bit here. You've transitioned more into a businessman, an entrepreneur. Like I said, introducing you, you're into digital marketing. You're trying to figure out your way in this world on, how to become successful. So just finishing football up recently for you, how did this all come about? Like, where did it all start? Like, was there just one day there's a light bulb in my head? Thomas Edison was sitting in the back of your brain and you were going, man, the light bulb just finally clicked. Like, where did this all come about?
Oh man, I wish it was that easy. Like, one moment you're just sitting there and it all comes to you, right? Like, you're Wizard Harry. I'm sorry, I'll stop. But, man, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I've been an entrepreneur like my whole life without even realizing it. Like, I was making lemonade stands as a kid, sitting outside in the neighborhood, people driving by, I'm waving with my friends. We're doing, it's I wish I could tell you where it started. It's just it's another passion for me, or a game, you will, right? Because now that I transitioned out of football, that was another hump in itself. But you learn a lot about yourself, and it's like, okay, now I have so much time to get into different stuff, because I'm not only just good at football, and I tell a lot of my friends this, even when I was at school and stuff. You're not just a football player, man. This is just what we do. You're so much more than that. You're a son, you're a student. So it's getting into those other interests, and business has always been an interest of mine. My mom's a great businesswoman. My brother's a great businessman. So I've always kind of been around it. And then reading, I really started falling in love with reading, and just, seeking knowledge, to better myself and help me grow. And as I started doing that, I started getting into like different interests. And then I stumbled, as I was seeking this knowledge, I stumbled across digital marketing. And it was really cool because, the whole design aspect of it is I have a lot of creative skills that I didn't know I had, because I was so focused on football for 17, 18 years. That's all I wanted to do. And now, like, I'm starting to learn that I'm a very creative person, and digital marketing allows me to do that. And I love helping people, man. So if I can help a business owner, do very well in their business and grow their business and doing something that I enjoy, then I'm going to do it. And so I started studying, big guys like Tai Lopez, and started their business mindset, because entrepreneurship is a whole game too. That's like, another whole competitive arena. And it's the only game you get better at as you get older, if you think about
Yeah,
it.
I think so too.
So
I've learned that becoming an entrepreneur, one, obviously it's not overnight, but two, you need you need people around you. You can't do it by yourself.
no.
That every person that's become successful, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. Yeah, Steve Jobs started Apple out of his, garage, and
Mhm.
I don't remember what year was it, the 80s or the early 90s. I think it was in the
Long
80s.
time ago.
Long time ago. God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. But the point is it doesn't start overnight, and
Yep.
you need people around you that are in that same circle and that have that same mindset as you, compared to somebody else on the outside looking in, like, I want what that guy has, and I have this very similar business model, but I don't
Yep.
have the means, I don't have the resources, and I don't have the teamwork, the leadership around me that can help build me up as an individual.
Yeah, and you know what? Going back to what sports taught me is team.
Yeah.
Team is everything. You can't. It
Yep.
takes a village to raise a child. So team is everything. And in fact, if you want to be successful, it's having. My mom used to always tell me growing up, you are the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So if you have a great team around you, you know, you could be good at something that I'm nowhere near as good at, but I'm good at something as the same applies to you that you wouldn't be good at, and we come together and we can make this thing work. And
Yep.
so that's why I love business too. Is you can build a team. It's that competitive, landscape, and that's kind of how I look at it. And as I'm starting to get into this entrepreneurship field and growing a business and working on things, I want to surround myself with people. I'm noticing I'm starting to surround myself with a lot of athletes who, in time they get done with their playing careers and they need to get into other things. So, I show them this, and we come together, and you have that same mindset, that same mentality of, you know, I wouldn't say dog eat dog, but it kind of is in the sense of, a competitive atmosphere. You got to work every day. You know that it takes time for things, nothing's overnight. Good things
No.
take time, but you still have to put in that work every single day at, whatever you're doing.
Surround yourself with the people who want to see you succeed. Don't surround yourself with
Amen, bro.
people who want to sit there at the low bottom. And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with having fun. There's nothing wrong with going out. There's nothing wrong with socially partying. I'm not saying you got to completely close off your whole entire life and focus on one thing, but
Yeah.
surround yourself in a circle with people. Let's just say like 3 or 4 people that
Mhm.
want to see you succeed, that have similar goals, because then that's going to you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to have a similar mindset and be like, they want to do what I want to do, and they're going to build me up. And I'm
Yep.
not saying they're going to be there for you when you need $500 and you're out on the street afterwards, or your car payment is due in May 1st and you need the money. I'm not saying they're going to give you that, but they're going to give you that sense of, that feel of, wow, I feel comfortable with those people. I can tell them what I'm really thinking and what I'm feeling,
That's
you
very
know?
important.
So that's super important, especially in this world we live in today, because it's crazy.
Bananas, bro. It's
So
bananas in
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just going to expand on what you were saying, man. It's important to have good people around you, genuine people too, at a deeper relationship level that, like you said, it's not the material things. I don't want money out of you. I just, if I need a ear, I need somebody to talk to because I got some things on my shoulders. I want to be able to express that. And I hope all my friends know they can do the same thing with me.
And there's
You know,
and there's and there's nothing wrong with that, and you shouldn't have that sense of, if you have that feeling inside of you that I don't feel comfortable telling this person this, what I've been holding in, they're not your true friend, and they're not there for you. They're not going to be
yeah,
there for you when the chips are down.
yeah,
So not really to get off topic, but I did want to move on to, you started your own brand with a Glacier Pod, correct?
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I really want you to talk about that and kind of share that, because I saw you posted an Instagram post and then you reposted it as a story. Really caught my eye with, cold plunging now and how it's going, and actually how it's trending up with,
Absolutely.
in the world right now. So talk about that, because that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you really mentioned that because, you know, just growing up, like I know the benefits of taking an ice bath, and I know what it can do for you physically. And I would only be able to take them when I was at the football facility, or because I didn't have, these big tanks and they get really expensive. And
Very.
yeah, doing them like growing up, you know, you understand the benefits of it and you want to do it because, you know, it enhances your recovery time. And is everything going on right now in the world, as you know, with COVID just passing, and, you know, there's something new on the news every day with this. I'm not going to get into that. But, you know, natural remedies, a lot of people forget that there's natural things that we can do to, you know, keep ourselves in the best position of staying healthy. And, you know, cold tubs is one of those things that I can get behind and that I really wanted to start. And me and my best friend, there's actually a couple of us that have been doing it. You know, we were sitting there. That's something that kind of, the light bulb went off, I guess. You know, we're sitting there talking one day, you know, how me and you were sitting here talking and just going over different ideas and things we want to, you know, because I got this creativity now, you know, that I wasn't able to explore before. So, and that's, you know, we were already taking ice baths, and because we just went out and bought one. And so as we started doing that more, we were like, man, you know what if this is something we can do? Because like nobody wants to go out and spend $2,000-$3,000 on a big tank. You can just put some ice in, and you know, jump in it for 10 minutes a day and you feel better. You know, but what somebody will do is spend $100, you know, on something like that because it's accessible to have, and the benefits are crazy. You know, it helps your immune system. It helps recovery time. If you're sore, you have lower back pain, you go in there for 5 minutes. You know, you do that 3 times a week, you'll start feeling a lot better. You become more flexible in senses like that. And it's very great for the mental health. And going back to what I was saying earlier about how football, you know, has put me through some ups and downs and has made me discover some things about myself. I know the importance of taking care of yourself and taking care of your mind, in the sense that, because I knew it was like when it was not so good and you have those dark days and, you know, you doubt yourself. But there's things that we can do daily to put ourselves in a better headspace and, you know, kind of take control of our own feelings and just making the most of each day. And health is wealth. That's one thing I've known my whole life. That's one thing that I was kind of groomed with, I guess, playing football my whole life is, you know, you want to be healthy because when you're healthy, you feel good and you can play. You know, but it was more of a sense of being healthy outside of the sports arena is like, you feel good, you know, you want to get things done. You want to be a productive human being. And so that's kind of where Glacier Pod started was, you know, we know the benefits of ice baths, and if we can help anyway, that's something we want to get behind. So, you know, so I hope I kind of answered that in the best way I could without getting
most, no, you definitely did. On a lighter scale, how cold are these cold plunges? Because I've never actually like taken a cold plunge. I mean, I've taken a cold shower before. In hockey, we would, you know, take lukewarm showers or just, you know, hop in and hop out, take a quick cold shower. I mean, like, how cold are these cold plunges?
Well, I remember when I was at school, like it'd get down to 20 degrees. I remember there was a certain line because this is up in college now. This is when they have, you know, these extravagant tubs. It tells you how cold it is, and you know, technology is crazy. But you know, so it would get around to like 20 degrees. There was a limit, you know, you couldn't go any lower because, you know, you don't want to put yourself in too cold water. That's when things get a little rocky. But there's a nice median, you know. So what I do right now is I'll put 4 bags of ice in the tub, and that'll be good. I'll go in it for sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. And wear socks though. You got to wear socks when you go in these things, because this is what I've noticed. Your toes and your fingers, they become very numb and it doesn't feel good. There is some uncomfortableness in there. Obviously,
20 degrees.
I wouldn't say if you do bags of ice in some cold water, it's 20 degrees. You know, I think it's bearable. You know, there is some uncomfortableness there when you first go in there, but your body, you know, what a lot of people don't know, the science behind these type of things too, is your body, it starts heating itself up when it gets in there, right? That's where goosebumps come in. So how is your body heating itself up? Well, it's actually burning fat while you're in there because it's trying to heat up. So the goosebumps, you know, they start going, your blood starts, and that's when you kind of become, you know, if you ask some people, you become numb to it after about 40 to a minute, 40 seconds to a minute. You know, you don't feel anything, and you know, you focus on your breathing, and it's truly, it's a mind muscle connection. You know, it's forging the strength of your mind. David Goggins calls it calcifying your mind, right? Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations every day to grow, you know, and it's very beneficial. And I definitely recommend everybody to try it if you never have. And I'm sure you've talked to a lot of athletes on here that, if you do mention a cold plunge, some people, they're not the biggest fans. It does suck, but
Yeah, it's not comfortable. It's not
you
supposed
got
to feel comfortable though.
you got to embrace the suck sometimes. Life
Yeah,
isn't all rose and
the
butterflies.
pain.
Some people say absolutely. So
Yeah, no, I mean, just one more thing. On average, how many cold plunges a week do you, or like how many cold plunges a week do you take?
I like to take one a day.
Okay.
You know, there's some days that I don't. So I say on average 5 days a week, but
Wow.
I try for 7. Yeah, and now Joe, you understand this too. I'm in there 5, 10 minutes at a time. I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not spending half an hour of my day. And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in and out.
You're sitting
So
there reading a book, you're going through
yeah,
social
yeah.
media.
Because listen,
No.
man, I'm human. It is uncomfortable. There comes a point, and you don't have to. That's the beauty of it, is because it wakes you up, especially in the morning. I recommend anybody, if you ever take an ice bath, take it in the morning, first thing when you wake up, right? Even before you go in the shower, jump in that thing, and it's better than a cup of coffee. I promise. And then you feel amazing. You wake up and you want to take on the day. But I definitely recommend once a day, maybe 5 days a week.
Do you like the sauna or do you like a cold plunge better?
I love it. I love them hand in hand. Is it yin and what do they say? Yin and yang?
Yin and
Yeah,
yang.
yeah, they
I've
go
there,
hand in
but they
hand.
they go hand in hand. But I mean, it's one's cold, one's hot. So
So,
I prefer the sauna, but I'm also used to the sauna because I like the heat better than the cold. But who doesn't?
so this is one thing I've learned too on
Hmm.
so I've got to learn a lot of cool techniques of, like, taking care of your body and
Yeah.
stuff in sports model. So have you ever gotten an acupuncture before? They put the needles in you.
No, I've heard of it though. They put the needles on your back and stuff.
Amazing. It's amazing. And but it actually started from the Japanese culture. And the
Hmm.
Japanese culture, they believe in heat. They don't like cold.
No.
Believe in heat, because heat, it thins your blood, and anything that's really tight, it loosens up, because now your body's starting to get an overdrive. But hot and cold go hand in hand because you need them both.
Right.
So that's where I do the sauna 5 days a
Hmm.
week too.
Yeah.
When I go to the gym, I do 10 minutes of the sauna every day, because that's very good for your cardiovascular health too. It was like some crazy stats. Like if you sit in the sauna, 3 days a week for 20 minutes, you risk your chance of heart disease or something like that, heart attack, by like 50%.
Yeah.
So, and there's some same, you could argue the same statistics for a cold plunge, so they work hand in hand. So I definitely recommend doing them both. Don't do, too much of one and too much of the other,
I like
you
the
know.
sauna.
Oh, the sauna is great, man. I
Yeah.
can sit in the sauna, I'll sit in there for, 10 minutes, put on a nice podcast. And it's that's another thing that's very good for your mental, I guess you could say. You feel refreshed when you get out of there. You want to attack the day.
You just have to walk in the sauna with shoes on because there's a lot of grease balls, man. That oh, dude, man, the sauna smells, man. You have to
Man,
have shoes
bro,
on.
listen, I dream every day of having a home sauna. Like, I cannot wait until I can get a sauna in, like, my garage or something, because
Dude, it's some people are
the
nasty
sauna
in
at some of
there.
these public gyms, man, some of these guys are freaky. Like you said, grease balls, man. Like,
Oh, it's nasty.
put some, yeah, man. You got one guy who's sitting in there. He's got his leg kicked up, and yeah, you know what, man?
I
He's
see
just wearing
guy
a towel.
I see guys walk in the sauna with just like plain old underwear on. And like, first of all, bro, you shouldn't just be wearing the underwear because
So
you you don't fit the mold as it is. And I
some of
get
these
it.
guys going, dude, I'm telling you, some of these guys going butt naked, and like you said, some grease balls. Dude, they just got the towel on, and they're kicking their leg up, and they're on the sauna, and you're just in there. You're trying to, get your sauna in for the day, get your sweat on, and you got Gary over here with his leg kicked up, and you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And, like, put that away, buddy.
I had a
Guys, put
sauna
the clothes on when you go in the sauna, please.
I had a
Let
sauna
'em know.
encounter a couple weeks ago, and the guy got so mad at me. This guy was a complete musclehead, and he got so mad at me because I opened the door like really quick, and he's like, "You're letting all the hot air out." I was like, "I'm sorry." Like, I didn't even say anything because the guy would have like took me and like squished me into two, and
Yeah,
I was just like, man, it's that deep, dude. It's like
these guys take themselves too serious, Joey. You can't.
it's like what is it? What is a sauna like? 200 degrees is it? I don't even know.
No, no, it's like, I think some
120,
get between, like, yeah, 120, 100, I'm sure there's some regulations to it.
140.
You can't get it too hot, because
Right.
there is a you pass out and stuff.
But when you pour the nice like scent in there, like when they pour the scents, it makes it smell better and refresh.
Oh
But that
yeah,
doesn't last long because Jimmy John's coming out from his long workout set and he just rubs his whole body onto the
yeah. Some
seats.
dude comes in there, he hasn't showered in 3 days, and he just got a workout in. He's gonna come and sit next to you and talk to
And there
you.
goes the scent completely.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did recently see that you started a blog, which really caught my eye. It was really cool. You started that on medium.com. I have a few articles on Medium too from my time at UF, but um you have 3 article blog posts at the moment for people to read. So you didn't really, I mean, from the time I've known you this whole years now, you really were never into journalism. Like we never talked about writing or anything like that. Did that really start when you started to read and you kind of just wanted to express your own thoughts, or where did that start?
No, I've, there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know about me. Writing's been one of my favorite subjects since I was a kid. You can go back, and some of my English teachers were my favorite because, it's something I've always enjoyed. And, I've been journaling truly, like I'm not going to say something consistent, but I started really journaling when I was 13 because, it's one of those things that I had somebody older who was sitting there telling me that you should start doing it because it helps you deal with your thoughts and everyday life and things you kind of just, want to get out. Like journaling became a therapist for me at a young age. When it was a sense, I don't want to go and sit there and tell everybody my problems. But if I
Yeah.
could just go on a piece of paper and pretend, I'm talking to somebody, and because there's something truly peaceful about you got to get it out, man. We're all human beings. We go through everyday life, we face obstacles, but getting it out very much does help. And so I've always loved writing. And but I will say the whole blog thing, I'm sure I kind of even caught myself by surprise getting into that, but I enjoy it because it you have certain perspectives, right? And everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know things I don't know, and I know things that you don't know. And your information could help me, and my information could help you. But like you said, through this whole time, what we've talked about, you never knew. I was a writer. That was something I interested about until we do talk about it. So sometimes if you start talking about certain things, people can relate.
Yeah.
And
I had no clue.
yeah, man. So and I love it, and that's what writing's always been for me. I enjoy sharing my perspective, and I enjoy it's something I enjoy really sitting down and whether it's for business, it's for philosophy, it's for health, and just putting out a good message out there. And I hope one day I really ultimately want to write a couple books. I'd like to really get into that.
Well, I would read it, so you
Oh, you're
have
the
me in your
man, bro.
corner.
You're the man. I got you. I got you. But yeah, I
So
enjoy it, man. I recommend anybody to start journaling. I have a couple friends that I sit there and I tell them, when you wake up in the morning, do a 5-minute brain dump. It
yeah.
could be the best thing for you because you got to get it out, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 100%.
you kind of wake up and some days you're a little mind boggled. You just got to get it out.
Also too, it makes you, when you do that journaling, writing in your notes, your iPad, your phone. I mean, now everyone uses their iPhone, so you can write in your notes. But that's also another thing too that I've really started to learn, that when you take notes in your phone, you're so con- desperate and focused on using your phone. But if you just write in your notes in a notepad, you're more likely to to feel, I think, better in a way because you're not so dependent on your phone. It's like, take those
Yeah.
notes. I'm like, I don't want
You
to use
gotta,
my phone. I want to put my phone to the side. I want to use
yeah.
my notepad, old school, old style. I love my phone just like everybody else, but I just think you're more focused and you're not, because then your phone's on, you're getting all these notifications. You're not focused on what you're really trying to put down in your thoughts.
Yeah. And I think, you gotta, there comes a time where you got to decompress from these things, right?
Oh yeah,
Because I see
100%.
some people posting their screen times, man. And I don't mean to get off topic real quick, but I see some people posting their screen times, and it's like, you're spending 8, 9 hours, sometimes 10 hours a day on your phone. That's, you think you only got 24 hours in a day, and you got so many hours you can sleep, and you got so many hours you can eat, and you're spending, I see something 10, 11 hours, man. That's up there, and it's very
Yeah.
important to ground yourself. So there is, and I find the same thing with reading. Like I love reading hardcover books, man. There's something about having a book in your hand, and it's the same thing when you're writing. You get into a flow state when you're sitting there and you're writing, and it's it's very peaceful. It's like a meditative state, I guess you could say.
I think so too. Yeah, no. So talk about the impact of nutrition on fitness and how to eat for maximum performance. That what you wrote in that article, because I read briefly about that, and
Yeah.
I have really tried to, consistently stay on my fitness journey. And then a few episodes ago, we had the Army veteran Jeremy Slusher, which was really awesome. He was really awesome to have on here, kind of shared his fitness experience. He's been a personal trainer for 25 years. So talk
Yeah.
about your fitness journey and a little bit about this article for people that are wanting to get into fitness, are in fitness, they have no clue what they're doing. Kind of talk about the balance between football and just regular working out, like the two different
Yeah.
sides. If that,
Well,
sorry
I
if that
think
was a lot.
no, you're good, man. So I think fitness is it's definitely been one of the core aspects of my life. I've been working out I would say my whole life, or whether you start lifting weights at, I think 13, 12, 13, because there was always this thing you could say, you don't want to stunt your growth. I don't know how true that is or whatever, but fitness has always been, something that's been important for me, whether it's a mental health aspect or if it's just I want to take care of myself, I want to get stronger for football. So, I had to, really do my research and get around great people. That I was lucky with football is having great weight trainers, strength and conditioning coaches, people that, you can talk to them and get knowledge from them. And then you kind of go out and you do your own thing in the sense, right? Because when you're in the off season, you're not around these people. You're trying to do workouts that are best. And some teams will send you summer packets and summer pamphlets. And then, you want to do some other stuff too. So, I go on and do my own research and stuff like that. So when it came, I just started noticing what made me feel better and when did I start seeing the most results. So like the diet was always the biggest thing. So when you're playing football, like my thing was I always had to gain weight. I always had to put on more weight. So I always had to eat more. And I hated eating 6 times a day, man. It's the worst. Like you just feel bloated, you feel slow, like you feel groggy. If you're eating good things, you could be eating chicken and rice the whole day, but still you're eating 6 times a day, man. And you just, you don't feel good, So when I did get removed from football and I kind of closed that chapter, I was in the more sense, I want to feel good, I want to look good. So how do I do it? And that's where that research started going in and how important it is, what you eat, how many times you eat a day. And that's when I stumbled upon fasting. Fasting is very important, too, for your body and your mind, in the sense of, I really stumbled upon fasting probably a year ago. And somebody put it together for me like this. You've been on this earth for, at that time I was 22. You've been on this earth for 22 years. You've been putting stuff in your body every single day. Have you ever given your body a chance to catch up? And because there's this thing, I saw this video the other day, and the guy was like, there's nothing better for your body to eat than your own fat. Because in the sense that when you're fasting, your body's eating all the bad stuff, right? Because it needs to get energy. So your body's creating its own energy.
Yeah.
And, you do 24-hour, 48-hour fast. And, there's a lot of health benefits that I noticed. Because like I said, human beings, we're natural skeptics, right? So I'm a natural skeptic. I question everything I got to do with myself. All right. So when I started noticing, like, I do a 24-hour fast, just water, I'd still work out. Nothing in my day would change. I just wouldn't eat that day. And
wow, that's
there
interesting.
were some, well, listen, there were some days that, you get hungry, you get those urges, but that's when that mind thing comes in again, right? There's that,
yeah,
building that strength. But then you notice, my workouts were better when I was fasting. I had more energy. And then I started looking a little bit stronger and I started getting stronger, so I wasn't intaking so much food. I wasn't eating 6 times a day, I started, reaping, the benefits and really seeing it. And, I'm a big health guy. I'm a big health and fitness guy. I always have been my whole life. One of my dreams one day is to open up my own gym. I'd love to do that one day. And I worked at a gym for a little bit in high school. So
yeah.
the ins and outs, and it's cool. A lot of people are happy in gyms, because they're in there. The gym makes people happy. Everybody's in there just want to get their day started or whenever they go to the gym, and people like to look good. And Deion Sanders, one of his favorite quotes is, "You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. They pay good." So
Yeah.
And that's what working out is, man. So I guess it's like a meditative, like a mental escape too, and it's also I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to get stronger. And so that's why I dabble into these research and articles and stuff.
The fasting thing is really intense. I think, like for you were saying, I mean, that's really, really interesting, but it's also cool to hear your perspective on it and how, you've gone through it, day in and day out. Some days you do it. 48 hours is really intense. And you're really
Man, I
thinking there,
tried
you're like,
to.
I really want that cheeseburger. I really want that Chick-fil-A sandwich.
It gets real, bro. It gets real.
I, I
The
really
farthest,
want that milkshake.
yeah, the farthest I've done was 48. I've tried 72, but I got to hour like 55, like around that
Wow.
hour. Yeah, I broke
You
it, man.
fasted for 48 straight hours
48 straight hours. Yes.
and you just drank water?
Water. Yeah, and a little bit I did cheat with a little bit of yellow Gatorade because I needed to get some salt and some little bit of carbs in me. But
So
yeah,
how do you like, for me, like I get a headache if I don't eat in a couple hours. Like I need sugar because I have low blood sugar, but like how the hell do you do that?
I go so like when I start feeling groggy or something, I go for a walk or I go work out. Or yeah, man, and yeah.
48 hours?
Yeah, so it's not that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's but see, don't get me wrong, like because like I said, I've been doing this for a year, right? So I didn't just jump in and go, I'm gonna not eat for 48 hours.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I started at 24, and I did a 24-hour fast like 3 or 4 times within, a 6 month span. And I was like, you know what, let me try to go to 48. Right. And then for 48, I tried to build up to 72. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm not fasting right now. That's my next step. I want to hit 72. But like I said, I haven't been able to do that yet. And if you look into a lot of, because I'm a big, spirituality and, and looking into the deeper meanings of things. And there's a lot of religions that, require fasting.
Yeah,
And
no, there is. Well, Ramadan they have to fast.
yeah, in the Quran, it says a 72-hour fast can cure all diseases.
Phew,
Yeah, man.
man, that large fry at
I don't want
McDonald's
to
and
get too
that
deep.
10-piece chicken nugget is sitting there, and I'm just like,
Yeah, man.
th-
Yeah.
come on
So,
over, McDonald's. Come on over, Chick-fil-A. I'm
yeah,
not a
it's
big fast food guy, but if I
sometimes it's
fasted for
good,
that
brother. I'm
long,
not gonna lie to you. I had McDonald's yesterday. Like I said, I'm
every
human.
once in a while, every once
You
in a while,
gotta
you
cheat
gotta have.
sometimes,
Yeah,
But I'm not perfect, man. And perfection, like they would say, is the devil. I don't aspire to be perfect, but I want to look good. I want to feel good, and I want to take care of my body, and
yeah,
for longevity reasons, right?
yeah,
And so it's just I dabble into these things. I do my research, and that's where writing comes in. I like sharing my perspective, and because it allows for conversation, right?
yeah,
Like, so
for
if I was
sure.
writing about some of this stuff, we probably would have never been able to talk about it and bounce ideas off of each other. Because I'm learning
No,
from you just as much as you may be learning from me. If you are, I hope you are.
yeah. Oh, I am. You're learning about going to McDonald's and then Chick-fil-A after you fast. No, no, I'm kidding. No, definitely learning though. So talk about Hyperbuzz and what it is, the growth partner agency. Like, what is that? Just
Yeah.
explain that.
So we just help businesses grow online. We help them grow and generate their leads online. Right now, we're working with a couple of general contractors, roofing companies, right now because of the hurricane and everything that just went on this past year. And we're just helping them book, generate leads online, get people to be able to come in, book appointments, acquire more jobs, and grow their business online. That's why we call us a growth partner agency, because we're a partner. We partner with businesses and help them, take their business to new levels.
How did you get into that?
So I would say about 2 years ago, there was a summer
Okay.
that it was in the off season. I came home for the summer and, like I said, I've always been an entrepreneur, man. So I always like to look at different ways. And, sometimes I'd sit there at the computer, how to make $1 million, you know? So, it's funny. So you go down these different avenues and then you explore different things that you think you'd like and things that you could see yourself doing. And that's something I stumbled across. So as I got more into it, I started following people that were in the industry and that do their job well, right? Because if I'm putting my name on something, I want to do a great job because all you have in this world is your name. So if I'm going to put my name on something and say I'm doing something, I want to do the best possible job I can. So I would study the people who are doing great. I would buy some of these courses. Ty Lopez is, one of the people that I've been following probably for the longest. And he's so influential. He has a business mindset. And that's why I love the internet and technology because, as you can see, the world is going this way. It can get, I know we all see how dangerous it can get. You can
Yeah.
choose to focus on, the AI takeover if you want, but there's also, this is the first time in history that we have so much information at our fingertips and we can learn so much as people, so, and that's why I love the internet and leveraging it for business too. And the reasons, if you can reach people all across the world who, might not come across an organic, a big billboard while they're driving home. And some people can't afford crazy marketing spends like that. Some of those billboards, a news commercial, you see the Super Bowl commercials, man. These people pay crazy
Millions.
amounts of money just to be on a Super Bowl commercial. When now everything's going to YouTube. A lot of these big, the NFL, I think they partnered with YouTube or something, and they're showing all the
Yeah.
games on live. The
YouTube
NBA
TV.
already.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. YouTube TV and the NFL. So it's not NFL Sunday Ticket is now on YouTube TV. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, dude, we're gonna have commercials on the internet.
Everything is going to streaming. Yeah. But you said AI, and that really, which was really funny to me because Drake and The Weeknd, that new AI song. Did you hear that?
No, I heard a little clip of it. I heard a little clip of it. It is pretty fire.
That's
It is pretty
insane.
fire. And it's going to be interesting to see because, I even thought about it. Like, if you're an engineer right now, man, and you can learn how to do some of this stuff,
Now's your
if you're a
time.
musical engineer and you can learn how to manipulate some of this, because I dibble and dabble in some of my stuff with my digital marketing that I do, because why would I not? It's going to produce better results for my clients, and it's going to reach more people, and it looks amazing. So why would you not choose to use it? If you're in the musical engineering stuff, man, and you see people making stuff like I'm sure you can make a lot of money.
I don't think 10 years ago, I mean, maybe, I don't know, but 10 years ago thought of Drake and The Weeknd, somebody making an AI song of them. What?
Man. Yeah, it's
the first
crazy.
thing I think of now, what robots. I mean, I guess now we're well on the way. I mean, they have them over there in China and stuff, so we're well on the way.
I mean, we grew up watching iRobot, so we knew it was coming. I know a lot of people seen that movie with Will Smith, so
it's well on the way. So we got to talk a little sports here. You're a big Celtics fan. They just beat the Heat, round 3, Celtics Heat, Eastern Conference Finals. Woo, man! Jason Tatum last night with 51.
Joey, tell the people, man. I was telling you he was going to drop 30. He just decided
you were
to go.
You were texting me, and I was like, some reason I had Philly winning that game. I just thought the reason why I did, because I thought they'd get out to a hot start, and that's why I texted you. And it was a close game all the way throughout. And then the third quarter, James Harden decided, I want to go play for Houston. Embiid is holding up the MVP trophy before the game even started to himself. And Doc Rivers, caught a blunder because Doc Rivers never wins game 7s. He's lost 10 straight games, or 10 game 7s now. So, and he was back in Boston where it all started for him. And he was like, I don't want to win. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. So, but no.
I grew up on Doc Rivers.
Oh yeah, of course. But what a series that was there, though. So how are you feeling against the Heat coming up here? Because they played them last year. The shot heard around the world with Jimmy Butler. The foot is on the line, the 3-pointer. How you feeling?
Honestly, I was more afraid of the 76ers than I was the Heat. Now, don't get me wrong. I got all the work. I'm no big NBA analysis, man. I'm just a big I love them, man. So I'm gonna vouch for them every day. But man, just the way we played yesterday, if we can keep that rolling, man, I think we're just gonna be dangerous. Like I was getting nervous in this series, even game 6 when we almost lost in Philly.
Yeah, and, Jason Tatum almost forgot to show up in Philly.
Man, so like
he might have had a few cheesesteaks before the game if, I mean, he was 3 of 15 at one point. He might have had some grease soaking in that stomach of his. So
yeah, maybe he went and took an ice bath before the fourth quarter or something, just hopped out or something. But yeah, so I was nervous in that series, and the 76ers are a great team, but I think James Harden not showing up at some point in that game really helped us out a lot, and Jason Tatum just doing what he does. But I think
the Jays, I think it's going to be a great series too. It starts Wednesday. For anyone excited for that, I had the Celtics go in the Eastern Conference Finals. To be honest with you, I didn't have the Heat. I don't think anybody did. I know it's just a very vague and broad thing to say because the Heat didn't do much in the regular season. But something about Eric Spoelstra and getting his team in the playoffs and how well he matches up with teams and how he can adjust. Oh man, it's special to see. I think
He's a great coach, man.
he's top 10 in wins all time now in coaching. I mean, just remarkable what he's been able to do with this team, this entire playoff run. They were the play-in team. Now you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, so it's cool to see.
The Heat have been around like every year. I think I saw a stat the other day. It was like, because he hasn't won like Coach of the Year yet at all, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember. It's been
I saw a stat and it was like
I think actually
Coach of the Year yet, but the past two coaches he's eliminated, they've both won Coach of the Year. So
I think he won the bubble year. I think. Let me check. I'm not 100% positive. Yeah, he won. Okay, 2 times. Also, he's MB. No, he's never won Coach of the Year. No.
Yeah, see, so I saw a stat. The past two coaches he's played have both won Coach of the Year. You know, so it's great to see what he's been doing. I think they need to give that guy his flowers a little bit more.
He's a great coach. So now we know the bubble, the COVID bubble, wasn't a fluke because the Nuggets and the Lakers, the Celtics and the Heat.
The Lakers I think the Lakers stunned everybody. To be honest, they did.
Man, I love it though. But Nuggets, Lakers, Heat, Celtics. Give me your prediction.
I think it's going to be the Celtics Lakers in the championship. To be honest,
I think so too.
Throwing back to them the old days. I grew up, that on Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, the big three playing the Lakers and Kobe, and I think that's what it's going to be. I could see it being that, and I like the Celtics taking it all, man. I really do.
Lakers Celtics, if that was the finals, I think that would be awesome. And I think the media wants that. TV ratings, just in general, the rivalry, Boston and LA, everyone wants it. I think we're going to get it. But hey, don't sleep on the Nuggets and the Heat. Those are two good teams as well. And
can't sleep on Jimmy Buckets, man.
No, Jimmy Butler is the heart and soul of that Heat team. It's so good to see what he brings to the table. Yeah, Tyler, if the Heat potentially make the finals, I know you'd have something to say about that. Tyler Hero has a potential chance to come back because that's when he broke his hand in Game 1 against the Bucks in the playoffs. That felt so long ago, but the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals, so he has a potential chance to return if the Heat make the finals. So
he'll be in Cabo in no time.
Uh-oh. So, as always, I always like to do 5 questions to end the show. So my first question for you, this might be a little deep for you. What is your biggest fear?
Fear God, man. It's always been like that. That's what I grew up on. That's it's something that's very, that's something I lean on. It's very close to me. So, I fear God. Really, I don't mean to get too deep on anybody, but
no, you're good. On a lighter note, how far can you throw a football?
Man, so after I banged up my shoulder this past year, I haven't really been, I've been lifting and stuff. I'll probably throw a football here and there, but probably right now, I'll probably touch 60 yards in the air.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like 55, 60.
Yeah, about 60 yards, 55, 60 yards.
Okay. What is your hottest take? It can be any wide range of topic.
The hottest take, man.
Everyone has one in their arsenal. One.
A hot take. You got to give me an example, Joey.
Okay, so last guest I gave him sports. Let's give you this one. I'll give you food.
Food. A hot take on some food.
Like pineapple on pizza or like eggs. Like
hold on, pineapple on pizza, 1,000%.
Oh, you're a pineapple with pizza guy?
Yeah, 365 days of the year. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Come on, man. It's so sweet. It's good. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's good. I guess that's a good take though.
Pineapple on pizza on some trashy pizza or like actual good pizza?
Some good pizza, man. Some good. Listen, I went to New York for a little bit in Staten Island. You could walk from school down to the little pizza shops.
And those people there would allow you to put pineapple on
ham
pizza?
And pineapple. You put some ham and pineapple on a pizza, man.
Ham's okay, but not pineapple.
Gotta put the pineapple on it too, man.
Oh,
Have you tried it? Have you tried it?
yeah. Everyone's had Domino's with pineapple and ham on pizza. It's like you get that. It's like a cheap
Probably not
deal.
even
Like
real
here's the
pineapple. That's
probably
probably gonna be
not.
pineapple.
I'd
You
rather
gotta
just
try.
have I'd rather just have my pineapple on the side. I like pineapple. I used to hate pineapple, by the way. I used to hate pineapple. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
just never really liked it, and I just never was really into it. Now I love it.
One thing I've noticed with pineapple, if you eat too much of it, like the roof of your mouth or your tongue like kind of swells a little bit. So you don't want to eat too
Really?
much. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
Yeah, just don't eat too much of it, man. I love fruit. I'll sit there and I'll eat a whole bowl. I like the big mixed bowls of fruit you get from Publix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they said when you were a kid, if you ate too many watermelons and you ate the seeds, they sit in your stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could go back in time and change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
Um, that's a good question, man. That's a
It's a
good
little
question.
deep, I know.
I guess patience.
Hmm.
I would tell myself that just be more patient. There's nothing wrong with good things take time. Things don't happen overnight, like we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
So if I could change that, just work on my patience a little bit more.
It's kind of
It's getting
this is kind of cliche, but from your article on Medium, patience is a virtue.
absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. It's I love that article too, man. I put a lot of time on that, and I'm gonna drop another one here soon.
Yeah,
Because like
please do.
I love sharing perspectives, and because like I said, it opens up doors for conversation. People DM you and they're like, "Man, that's awesome. I was really thinking the same thing," and
Yeah.
share ideas with themselves too. So yeah, it's great. That was an article I joined, but yeah, patience is very much a virtue.
Last question. Who is one person you would like to meet?
One person I'd like to meet. Oh man, one person I'd like to meet, man. I would love to meet Tom Brady, man. I grew up on Tom Brady. As you know, my whole family's from Boston, so we grew up loving the Patriots.
I didn't
And
expect that. I didn't expect you to say Tom Brady. I thought it was going to be somebody like David Goggins or somebody motivational, but Tom Brady, I respect it.
Tom Brady's motivational in itself too, though.
No,
That
I
man,
know a different type of motivational.
yeah, no, I get what you're saying. No, and I definitely like. Don't get me wrong. It's a long list of people I hope and
Yeah,
inspire.
of
Of
course.
course, I just growing up on Tom Brady, and that was just being the guy, and my best friend, going out there and being able to play with him was awesome in itself, and it's just it's his mindset, man, the way he goes about things, the way he was a big thing of just preparation, that's important, and Peyton Manning too, they always believed in preparation, and you can't go far without something that you prepare for,
Yeah,
really, and
so
it'd just be nice to sit down and have a conversation with the guy like that, how we're having, and just be able to bounce ideas off each other, share experiences.
absolutely. No, I respect that 100%. But there's one thing I did want to leave you with this because we were talking about motivational type stuff. We were just talking about life. And I actually last night I watched the movie Air on Amazon Prime, the Michael Jordan movie with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon,
I didn't
and
even know that
uh
was
and Chris Tucker. Yeah, so it came out in theaters. They really promoted it big time. It's about Nike and how a guy who works at Nike, Sonny Vaccaro, he's the person who basically gets Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. I don't want to spoil everything for you, but the one thing I will say is his mindset, his mentality, the way he goes about it. I know it's a movie, but man,
Mhm.
I mean, if there's anyone that's motivating right there and just going for what you want and what you truly believe and what your passion is,
Yeah.
that's just it was awesome. It was really cool to see. I mean, it was a very good movie. Now Michael Jordan's not in the movie just
Mhm.
because I actually read about Ben Affleck last night in the article. He was saying that we didn't want to put Michael Jordan in the movie itself, as an actor because I don't think anyone could live up to the Michael Jordan hype. Meaning like
Mhm.
somebody they're 2 feet on the ground will never compare to Michael Jordan as an actor. Michael is Michael. So,
Yep.
and I thought that was really interesting because nobody
Yeah.
is Michael Jordan. So, I think watch that movie. I think you'll really like it kind of from the beginning to the end to see how things go. A lot of people had their different opinions and their thoughts on it, but just the way Sonny Vaccaro goes about it, just his personality, his mentality of if there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to do whatever it
Absolutely.
takes to get to where I need to get to. I'm going to do whatever it takes to sign Michael Jordan.
100%.
That's what
That's awesome, man.
that's where I'll leave it right there.
And I love watching stuff like that. And even outside of sports, there's a lot of people that you can learn from that just have that good mindset, man. We can learn from anybody and everybody, and
Sports connects sports connects a lot of us in ways we never thought we would get connected. Just like you with, your football career, your college football career, with people now that you are in business with,
yep.
learning about life, learning different things. It, sports is sports, man. I mean, it's always going to be here for us. And so many people say, "Oh, you're crazy because you're a big sports fan." Sports is just different to me on a different level.
Man, it's nice to have a little escape too from
Yeah,
everyday life.
why not? It
Don't go
is.
sit
It
down and
is.
watch a football or a basketball game, man. Like, go do it. And
Yeah,
it keeps people together too. It's
yeah.
nice. It's nice having a team.
It
It's
gets people to come together. Absolutely.
Yes, that's why I love what you're doing, dude. Like it's been
Thank you.
amazing to see the progress. It's been amazing to see this show grow. And I know with time it's gonna just continue to do crazy numbers. It's gonna continue to grow. And you have the work ethic, man. You have the mindset. You've always been a great guy. You got a good head on your shoulders. And
Thank you, man.
I know you're gonna take this thing to the moon, brother. So
I appreciate that. Well, I haven't been able to walk on the moon yet, Neil Armstrong, but I'll outro the show as always. Make sure to follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify. They're both named the Inquisitive Mamba on there. We just hit 1,000 plays. TikTok at the IQM Pod, Instagram at the IQM Pod. Make sure to follow Korey Besse as well on his Instagram. Korey, your Instagram is Korey Besse6, correct?
my Instagram should just be Korey Besse.
Okay. Okay. So
Kore
make sure to follow Korey Besse on there as well. Korey, if there's anything you'd like to plug before the show is over, make sure to do that as well.
All right, man. No, I mean, I just appreciate being on it. I've enjoyed this whole experience and sharing thoughts and ideas with you. And appreciate everybody who was listening. And hope we can do it again, my friend.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you as always. It was a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your football career, your experience from high school to college to growing into a businessman now, to developing the sense of entrepreneurship, learning from your peers around you, staying level headed. It's always a pleasure, man. As always, guys, we will see you next time.